If you want to decorate with greenery, but have a black thumb or just struggle in general to keep plants alive, I'm going to share with you my top tips for decorating with fake plants. Hey everyone, I'm Coral and welcome to my channel. Here you'll find weekly home decor videos with practical tips for a home you'll love. Today I'm going to share my tips for you on decorating with fake plants. I love adding greenery and florals to my house because they go with any decor, they usually work with any season, and it gives a nice pop of color to your home. I like to decorate with real plants, but sometimes it's just not reasonable and it doesn't work. Maybe you're like me and you have animals that will eat the plants, or kids that will eat the plants. It's too dangerous to have them around. You may have a black thumb. I tried to create a succulent garden for our kitchen table that lasted only about a month before they all died, and I felt really bad about killing them all. You could also travel a lot and not have a way to keep them watered regularly in order to keep them alive, or you might just want to decorate on a budget. Fake plants can be a lot cheaper in some instances than real plants. Whatever the reason, I'm going to share with you my top tips for decorating with fake plants to add a little bit of greenery, florals, and a pop of color to your home. Tip number one is to find fake plants that look real. So the goal with all of this is to make it look like you actually have real plants in your home. So you want to find ones that aren't super cheapy looking and look nice. One thing I look for when buying faux plants for my home is to find ones with nice pots that would look really nice and complement the decor. So one example is this one right here. This pot has kind of like a marble finish to it and it's white, so that complements my home and looks really nice. Another one of my favorite pots on one of my fake plants is this one right here. It's white and has a little bit of a beige color to it and has some textured dots on it. If you find a fake plant that you really like, but it doesn't have a nice looking pot, you can always take it out and repot it or put it in some other kind of vase or container. Along with that, you want to make sure that the material that is used to create the fake plant looks real as well. This fake succulent right here is a great example of that. If you look up close, it has multiple different colors that are realistic to the way that succulents look. And if you look here, it's a little bit crooked because we all know fake plants aren't perfect and they're not going to grow perfectly. So all of those things together make this plant look like it could be real. My husband asked me one day when we were sitting at the table if this one was a real plant. So I know that I did a good job picking out one that looked real with this. Another way of making sure that the plant looks real is checking to see if the way that the plant is placed in the pot or the vase is done in a realistic way. So there's a couple of things that you can look for to make sure that it is done right. One example is this fake succulent right here. If you look closely down in here, there are fake rocks in here. So when I'm looking down at this, it looks like it could possibly be real. I'm not looking down at like a plastic or a foam that doesn't look realistic. So these fake rocks make it look realistic. Another example of this is the fake roses that I have back here. These fake roses look like they're in water. It's kind of like a gel material here. So we can see through this vase, unlike some of those other plants that I showed you, but it's created in a way that looks like it's sitting in water. So it's realistic because this is what real roses could look like in a vase. Another way that you can get around this is by picking a fake plant that you can't see the way in which the plant attaches to the pot. So this one right here, if we look really closely here, you can't see where this is attached to this pot. So I'm not worried about looking at fake plastic or foam because I can't even see it at all, so it doesn't matter. My next tip is to know the right places to find and buy your fake plants. Like I said earlier, fake plants can be a lot more cost effective than real plants. I talk about this in my top tips for decorating on a budget video, which I will link down below. Small fake plants are one of my favorite ways to decorate on a budget, but you have to know where to find them and know what you're willing to pay for them. Small little plants like this shouldn't cost you more than $3 or $4, and the larger ones shouldn't cost you more than $10 to $12. So if you know where to find them, you can get a really good deal on them. This little succulent I got right here, I got it at home for I think about $4. Another good place is Home Goods, or TJ Maxx has a really good home goods section. You can find some realistic ones at the Dollar Tree, but be careful and look them over carefully because some of them may look fake. Hobby Lobby is another good place, and sometimes Kirkland's is a good place as well. Some of their stuff is a little bit more expensive, so just be careful, look it over carefully, or possibly get a coupon. My third tip for decorating with fake plants is to put them in realistic places. Like I said earlier, the goal is to make it look like you're using real plants. So you want to put them in places where you could or would put a real plant. For example, you probably want to put them in a place with some kind of sunlight. You can also pair them with real plants, and you want to put them on places like tables or counters or furniture where you would put a real plant. My next tip is to use them to add a pop of color or texture. Fake plants look great on a table like your kitchen table, a coffee table, or some kind of end table or table that you have up against the wall. I talk about this in my spring home decor video, which I will also link down below. They can also look great in your kitchen. I put fake plants on the counters, and I currently have a small little succulent on a tray on my island where I keep my soap and a candle. It adds a nice little pop of color and substance to the tray that I was looking for before, and the plant was just the perfect thing. Another place that fake plants can look really great is on your mantle. I have some pretty large fake plants on my mantle currently. The benefit of using fake plants in all of these places is that you don't have to worry about the water or the plant ruining your furniture. I have fake plants over a lot of different places that have wood on them, like the wood tray on my kitchen table, that I would be worried about getting ruined with a real plant. If I was watering it and water got all over the table, I could ruin the wood. Same thing for my desk behind me. I wouldn't want real plants on this desk because I wouldn't want the water to seep through into the wood and get it ruined. My final tip, and one of my favorites for using fake plants, is to use them to fill empty spaces. We have really large walls in our home because our ceilings are 11 foot tall, so I have to take up a lot of space on our walls. One way I've done this in our house is in our entryway, I have a wreath that is paired with a large sign. So the wreath complements the sign, also adds height, taking up more space on the wall. Another place I use this in our home is in our bathroom, where I installed some shelves on our wall, and I took a fake plant that was really tall in order to draw your eye up and take up more space on the wall. I also have a smaller fake plant on a lower shelf on that wall, paired with some smaller decor pieces. So the large fake plants can take up some big spaces on your wall that you're trying to fill up, and the smaller ones can take up some smaller spaces where you're trying to pair a couple of your different decor items. If you're looking to take up a smaller space on your wall and not pair it with a picture or a sign, or not put something on a shelf, wreaths by themselves not paired with something can be another great way to add some greenery and take up maybe a smaller space on the wall. If you're interested in that, I made a DIY quick tips video on how to do a framed wreath for your wall that I will also link down below. If you follow these tips, you can easily add fake plants as decor in your home and not have to worry about all of the downsides of decorating with real plants. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope it gave you some practical tips for creating a home you'll love. If you did enjoy today's video, do me a favor and give me a thumbs up down below. Also, comment below and let me know if you have any other tips for decorating with fake plants. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button down below and hit the bell. That way you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.